On January 6, 2011, on a sidewalk outside the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, (MIT), police officers tackled a 4-year-old man. In his messenger bag, they found an external hard drive. On that drive 8 million academic articles. This was the world's scientific and cultural heritage, digitized. 1 week later, federal prosecutors dropped 13 felony counts on him. The potential sentence 35 years in prison for downloading research papers, but the government soon realized who they had arrested. This wasn't just a data thief. This was the co-creator of Reddit, the technical genius who architected RSS, the backbone of every news feed and podcast on Earth. He was a millionaire at 19, a folk hero at 24. Months earlier, he rallied the entire internet Wikipedia, Google, 115,000 sites to kill Congress's censorship bill in the largest online protest in history. He won. And now, the government wanted revenge. His trial date was April 1st, 2013. He never made it. 11 weeks before trial, he was found dead in his Brooklyn apartment. The internet erupted. His father blamed the government, but the law that crushed him is still on the books today, still destroying lives. This is the true story of Aaron Swartz, the programmer willing to pay the ultimate price for free knowledge, and how downloading a library became a fight against the very concept of cybercrime. The story of Aaron Swartz starts not with crime, but with code. In the year 2000, while most teenagers were learning algebra, 4-year-old Aaron uploaded his first major code, RSS 1.0. Really simple syndication. He was architecting the future of how information flows across the web. By 19, his company, Infogami, merged into a social news site you might know, Reddit. He was a millionaire. He should have been cashing checks and building empires in Silicon Valley. Instead, he walked away. He quit. The corporate grind at Condé Nast, Reddit's new parent company, clashed with a mission burning in his chest. That mission was to democratize knowledge, open government data, and challenge gatekeepers who hoard information for profit. He pivoted to activism. In 2008, he walked into an Illinois public library and accessed a website called Pacer Public Access to court electronic records. The federal court system charges citizens 8 cents per page to view public domain documents, all taxpayer-funded, all behind a paywall, generating $120 million annually. Aaron wrote a script. He exploited a free trial program at 17 participating libraries, downloading 19 million pages of court documents in 6 weeks. The FBI noticed the anomaly: massive data extraction from government servers. They launched an investigation, but Pacer was technically free through library terminals. No password theft. No clear crime. The FBI backed off. That close call didn't scare Aaron straight. It radicalized him. If public information sits behind paywalls, someone, he believed, must liberate it. In July 2008, Aaron published a manifesto that ricocheted through digital rights circles. It read, "Information is power, but like all power, there are those who want to keep it for themselves." He continued that the world's entire scientific and cultural heritage is increasingly being digitized and locked up by a handful of private corporations. He titled it the Guerrilla Open Access Manifesto. By 2010, the movement coalesced, with academics, librarians, and activists demanding universal access to research funded by taxpayer dollars. Aaron became their unlikely champion. His target became JSTOR, a nonprofit archive holding 8 million scholarly articles behind institutional paywalls. If you've ever hit a $30 per article wall researching online, you've met JSTOR. Universities pay 6-figure subscriptions, and the public pays researchers' salaries through grants, then pays again to read the work. Aaron saw this as a ransom on knowledge. He was about to stage a digital rescue that would land him in federal court. But first, he needed a network, a login, and a closet where no one checked. MIT's campus offered all three. In September 2010, Aaron found his opening. MIT operates on a principle of radical openness. Any visitor can plug into Ethernet jacks in libraries and common areas, no password required. Aaron was a fellow at Harvard, which granted him legitimate JSTOR credentials. Harvard's license allowed unlimited downloads for research. But Aaron wasn't researching. He was liberating. He wrote a Python script that automated bulk downloads. His laptop hit JSTOR's servers with hundreds of requests per minute, vacuuming PDFs at industrial speed. This is a common tactic used in credential stuffing attacks. An attempt to overwhelm a server, but in this case, the intent wasn't dark web scam profit. It was data liberation. JSTOR noticed. They blocked Aaron's IP address. He switched to another MIT address. They blocked that one, too. This escalated into digital warfare, Aaron's script versus JSTOR's blacklist. JSTOR made a drastic move. They blocked MIT's entire IP range, cutting off legitimate students and staff campus-wide. MIT's IT security team scrambled. Aaron escalated. Physically. In November, he walked into MIT's Building 16, housing the Computer Science Laboratory. He located an unlocked wiring closet on the second floor. He hid an Acer netbook and a portable external hard drive behind the server equipment. He plugged directly into a network switch. The laptop ran headless, no monitor, no keyboard, just code executing in the darkness. It spoofed legitimate MIT credentials, evaded JSTOR's IP blocks through constant rotation, and funneled the accumulated knowledge of 300 years onto that external drive. Within 2 weeks, 2 million articles. By Christmas, 8 million scholarly papers. This ability to see the cracks in walls others built is the essence of hacking. It's the flip side of how criminals execute major phishing attacks or exploit vulnerabilities for financial fraud. Aaron used it for an ideological heist. JSTOR's engineers, however, were tracking every download. They traced the flood to MIT's internal network, pinpointed the building, and narrowed it to the wiring closet. On January 4, 2011, MIT's IT staff found the foreign device. They didn't disconnect it. Instead, MIT police installed a motion-activated camera aimed at the closet entrance. They wanted the downloader's face. At 8:42 a.m. on January 6th, the camera recorded a figure in a white helmet entering, swapping hard drives. 73 seconds of footage. As Aaron exited Building 16, helmet tucked under his arm, 5 officers moved in. Stop right there. The Secret Service Cybercrimes Division read him his Miranda rights on the sidewalk. A witness later described him looking like a scared kid caught shoplifting. Not a hardened criminal. He was booked on 2 local charges, breaking and entering, and larceny of data, likely misdemeanors. He posted $10,000 bail within hours. Surely believing this was a misunderstanding, JSTOR recovered the data, and since he never released it, they dropped the charges. Right. What Aaron didn't know, federal prosecutors were just getting started. They saw an opportunity to redefine what hacking meant, and to make Aaron Swartz the cautionary tale. Within a week, JSTOR formally declined to press charges, stating they considered the matter closed. MIT stayed silent. For a moment, it looked like a college prank. Then, the U.S. Attorney's Office for Massachusetts stepped in. The federal prosecutor, Carmen Ortiz, saw Aaron's act differently. This wasn't a terms of service violation. It was computer fraud, a felony under the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, CFAA, enacted in 1986 to combat hacking. The law is notoriously vague. It defines unauthorized access, broadly exceeding permission on a computer system. Aaron had permission to use the network and the login. But did he have permission to download 8 million articles using an automated script and a hidden laptop? Because the statute is so broad, prosecutors argued he crossed the line. On July 11, 2011, a federal grand jury indicted him on 4 felony counts, including wire fraud and computer fraud. The maximum sentence, 35 years in federal prison. The tech world erupted. Lawrence Lessig, Harvard law professor and Aaron's mentor, called the charges absurd. Tim Berners-Lee, the inventor of the World Wide Web, called it a gross miscarriage of justice, but the Justice Department doubled down. Stephen Heyman, the lead prosecutor, framed Aaron as a thief who broke into MIT's network to steal millions of dollars worth of intellectual property. This framing ignored that Aaron never sold the articles, never leaked them, and never profited. In September 2012, a superseding indictment added 9 more felonies, 13 counts total. Sentence exposure jumped to 50 years. The government offered a deal, plead guilty to 1 felony and serve 6 months in federal prison. To most, it's an obvious choice. But Aaron saw it differently. Pleading guilty branded him a criminal, validated the prosecution's narrative, and set a legal precedent under the CFAA that could criminalize any terms of service violation. This could range from sharing a Netflix password to using a download script. He refused the deal. His friends panicked. His family pleaded. While facing 13 felonies, Aaron engaged in a separate battle that threatened everyone who uses the internet. In October 2011, Congress introduced the Stop Online Piracy Act SOPA and the Protect IP Act PIPA, backed by Hollywood's millions. These bills ostensibly targeted foreign pirate sites, but the language was catastrophic. SOPA granted the government power to order internet service providers to block entire domains, suspected not proven of hosting copyrighted content. If a user uploaded a copyrighted image to your website, the entire site could theoretically vanish. It was censorship infrastructure disguised as anti-piracy. Aaron co-founded Demand Progress to organize the opposition. He proposed a radical idea, a coordinated internet blackout. On January 18, 2012, the internet went black. Wikipedia replaced its articles with a message, "Imagine a world without free knowledge." Google plastered a black censorship bar over its logo. Reddit shut down entirely. Over 115,000 websites joined. The sites provided Congress's phone numbers. Millions of calls flooded Capitol Hill. Within 24 hours, senators and Congress members withdrew their support. The bills were shelved. It was a stunning victory. Aaron Swartz, the hacker activist under indictment, just helped organize the largest online protest in history. But victories don't erase felony charges. Carmen Ortiz's office didn't drop the case. If anything, Aaron's increased visibility made him a bigger target. The plea deal was still on the table, but with hints of more prison time if he waited until trial. Ortiz's office reportedly told his lawyers that Aaron needs to be made an example of. Winter 2012. Aaron was dissolving. He'd battled depression since adolescence, and now he was staring into an abyss that might swallow the rest of his life. The legal machinery was indifferent to his mental state. The trial date loomed. The prosecutors refused to drop the felony requirement that was the sticking point. Once you're a convicted felon, doors close permanently. Employment, travel, voting rights. He was unable to admit guilt for what he believed was a moral action, yet unable to face the alternative of decades in prison. On January 11, 2013, Aaron Swartz was found dead in his Brooklyn apartment. He was 26 years old. The public reaction was volcanic. Aaron was killed by the government. His father stated at the funeral. Congress, stung by the outcry, introduced Aaron's law to reform the CFAA and prevent minor violations from becoming federal felonies. Law enforcement lobbying ultimately killed the bill. The CFAA remains on the books today. The tragedy of Aaron Swartz is the core lesson of this entire cybercrime documentary. It shows us the extreme power imbalance between the state and the individual when an ambiguously written law is weaponized. We need to understand that the tools Aaron used, bulk downloading, scripts, network mapping, are identical to those used in dark web scams and major phishing attacks. The only difference was his intent. Cybersecurity protocol advice: fight the threat, not the messenger. The primary lesson from Aaron's case is that vague laws like the CFAA hurt legitimate security researchers and activists, not just criminals. Support movements to reform these laws. Verify. Then click. Aaron's case didn't involve a phishing attack, but his story highlights the risks of digital exposure. Always use multi-factor authentication, MFA, Check the URL for anomalies before entering credentials. A single slip-up can lead to devastating financial fraud. Secure your hardware. Aaron physically placed his device on MIT's network. Your network is your castle. Use strong, unique passwords for your Wi-Fi and change default router credentials. Never leave unattended. Unsecured devices plugged into public networks. Practice digital hygiene. Criminals exploit known vulnerabilities. Keep your operating system and all software patched and updated. Patching is the most basic, yet most effective, form of cybersecurity. Aaron Swartz was 26 when he died. His question still hangs over us. Who gets to own knowledge? And at what cost do we enforce that ownership? The battle didn't end with Aaron Swartz. It's still being fought, one download, one case, one law at a time. This has been the Digital Sleuth. If you want to understand more about the battles being fought for your digital freedom, hit the like button and subscribe. Until next time, stay safe, stay vigilant, and never stop questioning the gatekeepers.